up, guys? And today on Plug and Play we're going to be checking out Apocalypse Percussion Elements from Soundiron. Alright, so pretty much Apocalypse Percussion Elements is the little brother to Apocalypse Percussion Ensemble, which has a little bit less features but still packs a pretty mean punch when it comes to getting some big, epic, and dynamic drum sounds for stuff like movie trailers or if you're doing any kind of orchestral mockups. Alright, yeah, so I wrote a little demo using this, and let's go ahead and check it out, and then we'll break it down and talk about all the different features that are within this VST. Alright, so first off, this library has a lot of different sounds. It's got about over 40 plus drums and over 100 different types of articulations. Alright, so some of the different things that this library includes is bass drums, toms, snares, cymbals, rototoms, dole drums, ethnic drums, and many, many more. Alright, so this library also comes with a lot of different presets, including 9 mega mixer presets, 9 standard instrument presets, and 8 tune dual layer presets, and we'll get into all those in a little bit. Now, in the event of your RAM is starting to get hogged up a little bit, it also comes with a light version that can lighten up the load a little bit as far as CPU goes. Alright, now some of the things that I love about this library, it is super easy to get really big epic drum sounds, and for this kind of music, like film or trailer music, if you're going for something along the lines of, let's say, Hans Zimmer or Junkie XL, sort of in the style of like the new Mad Max or something, this definitely can handle all that, and it's really easy and it doesn't take a lot of layering. I really didn't have to layer too many different drums to get a really big epic sort of sound. Alright, so getting into some of the settings, there's settings for swell, attack, offset, pitch, velocity, and humanize. Now, I didn't actually use any of these settings, but in the event of you do want to alter them a little bit, like the velocity or the humanize to sort of randomize some of the hits, you can do that as well. If you also want to pitch it down, I think that's a cool feature. But this VST also comes with a bunch of tune dual layers that are actually pitched down as you go down the keyboard. So you don't really need to do that, but in the event of you do have that option. Now, one of the very cool features of this VST is actually the MIDI Loop section. And I didn't use this either. I usually like to program all my MIDI hits manually. But in the event of, let's say you're on a time crunch and you need to get something done real quick, or also you just want to throw in some MIDI loops so you can start writing some, maybe some string arrangements too, or just get some other rhythmic ideas. There's a whole bunch of different presets from some other composers that you can actually just go ahead and drag and drop them into your session, see how they work, and then maybe you can alter them once they're actually inside your DAW. Yeah, so I think that's really cool, and especially when you're trying to, let's say maybe not feeling too creative, and you just want to drag in some MIDI that has a bunch of different rhythmic ideas, it's pretty cool to have that option. And also, when you're in the MIDI loop section, you can actually adjust the quantize, the grid size, the swing, and the velocity, so you have a little bit more control too. Alright, so and there's also the effects rack, which has some other settings like drive, flange, reverb, EQ, and some other things. So if you want to affect some of the sound and some of the effects that actually go into this VST, you can as well, which is nice because you don't actually have to go ahead and load up a bunch of other third-party plugins because everything's sort of built inside of the VST already. Now, some of the other features that I think shouldn't go overlooked is the room release, which is cool because in the event of you want to lessen or add a little bit more of the natural room sound that comes with these drums, you can as well. Let's say maybe you want to use more of your own reverbs. You can go ahead and lower some of that and then use your own reverb to sort of fill the space a little bit. And you can link different drums, and that way if you want to link all 4 of them, you can just lower them and raise them all together. You don't have to actually go through and do each one manually. Alright, now let's get into the arpeggio window a little bit. And what's cool about this is, sort of like the MIDI loop section, You can basically hold a few keys and get some cool rhythms going. I normally don't like using arpeggiators unless I'm doing more synth type stuff, but I think it's cool to have in the event of, like I said, you want to mess around with some creative rhythms. And maybe you can play around with the arpeggiator and that might inspire you to make something cool and then play it in manually. So definitely experiment with that, and I think it's a cool feature that they included into this as well. Now also with the Mega Mixer window, you can actually go ahead and customize your own kits as well. I think that's pretty cool. Normally what I like to do is I like to have each track for each particular instrument, let's say like bass and toms, ethnic drums, solo instruments. That way, you know, when I'm actually writing, I can just go to each track and just, you know, play them in real quick, and I know what each one is. So, but if, let's say you just want to have them all loaded up on one track, you don't want to do that, definitely experiment around with the Mega Mixer and also try building some of your own kits. All right, now getting into the tune dual layer kits, I think it's pretty cool to have. And the way I actually used it is I would use it for more impacting lower hits on some of the downbeats, just to sort of fill up the space a little bit and give it a little more of a boomy impact to sort of, you know, add to that big apocalyptic percussive sound. All right, so for Apocalypse Percussion Elements, it's only $99, and if you want to get the bigger brother, which is a full version of this, it's only $199, which has a few more options, and definitely look into both. But if you're on a budget and you want to get some really big, heavy impacting drums for your orchestral arrangements, definitely check out Apocalypse Percussion Elements, and make sure to go to soundiron.com for more info. And as always, thanks for checking it out, and I will see you guys next time on Plug and Play.